Hello, Nope Coach listeners. It's Suzanne Culberg. Welcome to episode 85, Raw and Unfiltered. So, one of the things that I did not anticipate with this podcast is the number of emails I would receive from podcast editors offering to edit my show. So, if you're one of those people, this episode is for you. And for everyone else, I really want to dive into raw and unfiltered. How often in your life do you hold yourself back from doing something you truly desire to do because I don't know how? I don't have all the right gear. I don't have the budget. I don't have insert thing here. And so we wait and we wait and we wait. And what is that thing for you? Do you have an inkling, a desire to write a book? Do you want to start your own podcast? Do you want to run your own business? Do you want to, what is the thing that you are holding yourself back from doing because you can't do it perfectly or you can't do it right? Very early on in business, I was working with someone else because I didn't know what to do. I know that I love coaching, but how do I record videos? Where do I upload them? How do I find clients? All of these things. It's very daunting in the beginning. And so we recorded a course, and the person I was working with had a lot of experience in business. So the first thing we did was we hired a venue and then got clothing and hair and makeup done and lighting and cameras and mics and scripts. And this became a very, very expensive enterprise. Creating a course, it was a lot of work. And then once we sat down to record in the venue we hired, as the sun came up during the day, the lighting in the room changed and we had to rearrange it and we had to worry about the background. And all this to say, we would hit record and then I would stumble or fumble on a word, stop, start again. And we'd hit record and I would lose my place on the prompter. And it was an exercise in frustration and honestly futility, because that course never saw the light of day. And I realized that I don't do well with all of those kind of things. I honestly just do best hit record, my hair's brushed, my shirt's clean, here we go. And it got better over time. In the beginning, there was sometimes the deer in headlights moment, or I didn't know what to say. And I remember my good friend, if you're listening to this, you'll know who you are. One of my very first videos she watched, she sent me a message. She goes, "Suzanne, you look and sound like you got a pole stuck up your ass." She was right. But I do best with raw, unfiltered, unedited, one take, no fake. And that's in the entirety of what this podcast is. I come up with a topic, I hit record, I talk for somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, I hit stop, I upload, that's it, the end. I don't do a jingle, I don't do show notes, I don't edit it in any way. I may say, but actually my tell is so. But that's how it is. If you and I were meeting in real life and having a discussion in real life, I wouldn't be editing. I wouldn't be like, pause, take that back, let me reframe it, let me say it another way. It would just be, it is how it is. And I think for me, it's a difference between theatre, live theatre, stage show, musical, comedian versus a movie, a production. And if you go to see something at the theatre, if they trip over on the stage, if they miss a word, if they sing a wrong lyric, the show must go on. Whereas in a movie, it'd be cut, let's do it again, cut, let's do it again. And I'd just like you to think about in your life, which do you relate to more? Because you may prefer the polished, edited, made up kind of thing. And if that's you, you do you, go for it. But if you are more like me and you're like, yeah, actually, I really relate and feel more connected to the raw and unfilteredness, then stop holding yourself back. One take, no fake, whatever it is you're doing, get going. When I wrote my book is The Beginning is Shit, an unapologetic weight loss memoir. That's my first book. If you want to look for it on Amazon or wherever else you buy books from, make sure you search up Suzanne Culberg, not the title, Word for the Wise. Leave a swear word out of the title if you want it to be easily found. Anywho, I wrote that book in much the same way. I did not reread it. I wrote a chapter. Then the next day I picked up where I left off and wrote more, and I picked up where I left off and wrote more, because I knew if I reread and edited and reread and edited, it never would have been completed. So I do best raw and unfiltered, and let's get it out there. I imagine if you enjoy this show, this might be your first episode, you might be like, this chick's crazy. But if you enjoy this show and you listen to me often, you may too be a raw and unfiltered kind of person. And that's why this is why you enjoy it. So where are you holding yourself back in your life from pursuing whatever it is you want to pursue? Because, I can't do it right, or I don't know how, or I don't have all the gear. Let yourself go. One take, no fake. Your best gets to get better. I have little doubt that I'll look back on these episodes a year from now and I'll be like, whoa, I've come so far. But the reason I would have come so far is because I showed up daily and did the best with what I had at the time. There's one of my marketing coaches, Tad Hargrave, Marketing for Hippies, 100% check out his stuff. The very first time I came across his work, I watched one of his YouTube videos. He's a prolific YouTube content creator. And I can't tell you what he spoke about. I do not remember the topic in any way, shape, or form. But what I do remember is he was walking along, videoing, talking about whatever it was. Then this truck started reversing and it was really, really loud. So he had to pause and all you could hear is this beep, beep. It's like one moment. He's just standing there while this truck reverses. And then once the truck pulls out of the lot, he just keeps going. And I loved that. And that's how I remember the first time that I came across Tad, not what he spoke about, but the way he spoke and how it was just so real life. Whereas other people you see with the perfect lighting and the perfect hair and the perfect angles and the perfect script, and it doesn't feel relatable to me. I prefer the raw and unfiltered where I can feel a connection, like, hey, you're having a human moment. I'm a human too, rather than this amazing thing. Like after I started doing Facebook Lives and stuff, I got more prolific with them back in 2017, 2018. If you scroll back, if you go to my Facebook page, Suzanne Culberg, my business one, not my personal, and you scroll back, you can see my very first Facebook Live. You'll know you've come across it because my daughter's in it. I've got a different backdrop back then. It's so bad, but I leave it there as a reminder that my best got to get better. And after I've been doing videos for about a year, I decided to invest in a video course because I thought, well, maybe there are some things to learn. And we recorded some videos and uploaded them into this course for peer feedback. So from different people within the course. I got torn to shreds in that. One person said that she thought that I must be visually impaired because I don't look at the line of the camera, my eyes move around. Someone else said something about how my hands always move. There was quite a few comments on my accent, like that I should, I don't know, not speak like an Aussie, hello, and the pace at which I spoke and how loud I spoke. Basically, doing a course about how to do videos actually ended up hamstringing me because I didn't record for 6 months after that. I was humiliated. I was like, oh my gosh, I look like I'm visually impaired. I talk too fast. I wave my hands around. This is horrible. And what I learned from that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if there's something like that, when I try to sit on my hands and look down the line of the camera and speak, not quite so, it's not me. It's not me. This is how I am. And obviously there are always things that we can learn and skills that we can improve. But if the advice that you're being given doesn't feel good to you and you don't enjoy the creation of it, like how many of us, we got into business for ourselves because we wanted the freedom and flexibility around hours worked, content created, all these kinds of things. Yet then we listen to a bunch of rules of how to do this and how not to do that and how it must be edited and how it must be perfect and how it must be polished. And then we just don't want to do it at all. So this is my invitation for anyone who is, a little like me, likes the raw and unfiltered, knows that your best gets to get better, does well by being in the arena and learning as you go. to do that and to know that you will get many, many messages from people saying, I will edit this, or I will write your show notes, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. Ignore them. You do you. I love the fact that I just hit record each day, talk for about whatever I want to talk about, and I gather people get value from it, because the reviews for this show, and just pausing there, thank you everyone who has left a review. I read them all, and I receive that. I really, really appreciate that. And I know, we can often think, I'll do it later, or I don't want to say the wrong thing, but some of them are like one sentence. And that one sentence means so much to me. So if you listen to this show and you enjoy it and you have want to leave a review, please do. Anyway, back to this. Raw, unfiltered, you do you. If it feels like you prefer a style and you're waiting for that reason, let that be the only reason. But if you're holding yourself back because you think, I don't know enough, or I don't have enough, or I don't have enough of a budget, you don't need a lot of the things to get started. In the very beginning, like if you watch my journey and go back to my older videos, I have upgraded. I started with a crappy inbuilt laptop camera. I now have an external camera. I started with just a laptop mic. I now have an external mic. I had no lighting in the beginning. I now have a light. But these things can evolve as you evolve, and this is probably the extent of my evolution. So if you are a video editor and you have listened this far, I will not be in need of your services, and if I do change my mind, I will reach out to you. But like in business, I think it's skeezy to go to people's stuff and go, hey, like I will edit your videos, or I will fix your Instagram. Like, does anyone else in business get that? I get that at least twice a week. Email subject heading line, I will fix your Instagram. Like that's, I don't know about anyone else, but does anyone want to work with someone who starts with that? Like, how are you insinuating that my thing is shit? And why would I want to hire you? There's something predatory about, I'll get you on the first page of Google. I will do this. And also too, you're assuming that they're the things that they want. Like, yes, I have an Instagram, but it's not my primary focus, as you can tell if you do watch it. But it's just, it can be a lot about your self-worth in business when, you get all these messages saying, I'll fix this and I'll do this. And, so if Raw and Unfiltered is your thing, unpack, live there, enjoy it, and celebrate it. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.